Okay. So obviously at the time of this recording, we've already had our first limited character in Ellen Joe, and now we have our second limited character in Jue Yin. So the biggest thing is team building, right? That is very key, is very paramount to how your success is going to be determined in Zenless Zone Zero. And what's important is not only the A rank agents, some of them are very, very strong, like Ambi. I think Anton's actually probably better than what people give him credit for. So Kaku is stupid strong, and then Nicole is also very good. But we do have a standard banner that I'm sure people are summoning on. Obviously, do not spend money on that one. You get free pulls from leveling up characters and doing other events in the game. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over each standard character and kind of rank them as to how viable and how good they are. Personally, I do not have every S rank character, but I do pretty good knowledge on them. So we're going to start with Grace. She is going to be an electric character. She is an anomaly specialist, and she belongs to Bellabog Heavy Industries. Also, where they belong is very key as well, because that also, adds credence to, team building options. So obviously, something that's important is, what kind of damage she does and all of that. So she's going to be doing physical and electric damage. So strong. We're also not gonna look at mindscapes. We're just gonna look at broad how these characters look at with no duplicates in them. So physical and electric damage is very, very nice. Because it adds a good variety in a mix. With 4 attacks, that it's good. It's good. The dodge isn't necessarily that important. However, the dodge counter is good because, she's able to do electric damage. And anytime you can do your elemental damage over your just regular physical damage is always a plus. The assists is primarily electric damage, which is also very nice. Special. If you don't know, her special is pretty dope. Dealing electric damage. And then your EX super special, or just special attack, which is the supercharged, is that you're going to throw 2 grenades dealing massive electric damage, and characters invulnerable while using the skill. For the most part, all the characters are actually just going to be invulnerable. It's not that big of a deal. For the chain, it's again, you're just dealing electric damage. So a huge factor is the core skills. And as we can see here, is that when she does a basic attack or a dash attack, she is going to be dealing physical damage and gain 1 stack of zap, maxing out at 8. And upon reaching maximum stats, using a special attack or your EX special attack, you will consume all the stacks of zap, increasing the accumulated electrical anomaly buildup by 65%. At level 1, if we take this all the way to 7, 130. It's very, very strong because it's, as we know with this game, it's kind of like a button masher, but dealing all that damage is very, very nice. We also see here that, with your additional ability, tech ability, is that, when another character in your squad shares the same attribute or faction, so again, when they are an anomaly specialty or Bellabog Heavy Industries, is that your shock damage is going to be increased by 18%, stacking 2 times. Very, very nice. So very generic, broad damage dealer. Okay. We'll just go over every character first. So Coletta is a fire attribute, stun specialist, and she is the Bellabog Heavy Industries. So again, another Bellabog unit. This one is a little bit different. I actually do think Coletta is probably a little bit better. And, is that she has the days that she's able to do is increased by 30%, which is very nice. Also, the fact that, if you have somebody else from the same attribute and faction, is that all squad members' chain attacks deal 35% more damage to the target. So this is more of a support core ability. I do think in terms of like team aspect, the cores are more important, whereas the skills, the dodge, all of that stuff is, very centrally focused for the most part. So this is obviously already huge. So we're just gonna bump her into first. We've only covered these two so far. Dodge, same thing, no big deal. Just fire damage, physical damage, okay, yada yada. Same thing here. Not that necessarily big of a deal, but you do obtain furnace fire effect. So if we jump back over here, where the frick was the furnace fire stuff? So right here. So when Coleta has furnace fire, she can launch an enhanced basic attack after the second hit, which is good. See here that the dodge counter, she gets it. And I believe with the assist is that you are going to be gaining another fire counter, which is very good. Also, the fact that just having that built into her kit adds another layer of more damage, minus the specials, minus the EX super special, even minus the chain, which she does gain the furnace fire. So overall damage output, she's very, very strong. And that's why I do think she is above Grace. Next up, we have Soldier 11, and she's going to be a fire attribute as well as belonging to the Obelisk squad, which I actually don't really think there's a whole lot right now for the squad. Core wise, this is just pure raw damage. So when triggering fire suppression during a basic attack or dash, increases the attack by 35%. Very nice. And then if you have somebody else that is fire or of the same faction, she is going to be dealing 10% more fire damage. And then when attacking stun enemies, this effect is further enhanced by 22.5%. Very good. Here at the basic, you're not really doing anything. So with the enhanced, with the fire suppression, is that you are going to be dealing more damage, and this damage is going to be dealing fire, which is very good. So if we jump over to the special, the EX Super is after using skill, Soldier 11's basic attacks and dash attacks will trigger fire suppression for 15 seconds or 8 times. It's okay, but the fact that you trigger the special, and the chain, I believe, actually, the chain as well. So the special and the chain, that's fine, okay. I do think she's not as good as Coleta just because of the fact that Coleta can actually get her own, enhanced attacks easier and a lot faster than Soldier 11. So that's a little bit of a downside. Next we have is Rena, Electric, and she's a support part of the housekeeping company. So when ordering her two little, you can't see them here, but like her two little puppets to attack, all squad members' pen ratio increases together with Rena's by 25% of her ratio plus 6% up to 30%. This effect ends when both of the two little puppets return. So you send them out to attack, do a quick little swap, and you have effective more resistance. So right now, I think that's instantly better than Grace. Also, the fact that she's able to inflict shock, which is good. And when shocked enemies are on the field, all squad members' electric damage increases by 10%. Now, that could work with Grace, but for the most part, you want to run Rena with the other housekeeping company agents. Not that big of a deal, and the puppets do most of the damage. And you can see here for the Shoe the Fool, she's going to call them back, swing them around for a ranged attack, which is good because they're out for further distance, being able to have that switch effect. So it's a little bit longer period to get that penetration ratio, which is very good. Jump over to the special, is that Smackdown. So, depending on how far the enemy is, how far the puppets are going to go. It's not that. It's a nice little cool mechanic, though. I do have to say that, she does revolve around her puppets, but, whatever, not that big of a deal. Necoma, physical, part of the Cunning Hares. So her squad is essentially Billy, Nicole, and Ambi. For the most part, Ambi. she's an all-arounder. But Necomata is mainly going to be your physical, just plain attacker, which is okay. One thing that is very nice is that her dodge and quick assist, her damage increase is going to go up. And then after the character inflicts assault, we'll cover that, increases damage of Necomata's next EX special attack by 35%, stacking 2 times. Very good. Her Crimson Blade is after doing 3 attacks of your basic attack, you're going to have a 33.3% chance to repeat it for 3 times. So little more damage chaining, which is very cool. Jump over to her special, and oh, well, I'm bad. Should be the chain. Where on earth? I am like all lost up in this business. So no, it's just when any character inflicts assault, so it's not that just her. So it's, I mean, not the greatest. So it's another low one. I think that Grace probably is a little bit better, but the fact that Necomata can essentially just help herself out with the damage boost, you know, it is what it is. And team wise, like I said, the Cutting Hair is not the greatest, while as Grace has a better team in the Bellabog Heavy Industries. While she doesn't necessarily fit because it's electricity and most of them are fire, it is what it is. Next, honestly, I'm just instantly doing this is Lycone. And the reason why is because he's a stunner, ice attacker, and he's part of the housekeeping company, and he fits ideally on the best Ellen Joe team. The reasoning is right here, is that when Lyco charges his basic attack to completion, the attack deals 40% increased days. When EX special attack or assist follow-up hits an enemy, the target's ice damage resistance decreases by 25% for 30 seconds. So you do that, and then you swap out real quick, and then you have Ellen Joe come out and just do more and more damage. And then we see over here is that when Lycone is on a team with someone else of the same faction or attribute, hits a stunned enemy, the target's stun damage multiplier increases by 35%. Obviously, you know, when you stun them, that's when they go into like that little tired out state. Just these two things alone right here provide 60% damage boost to Ellen Joe. Now, I know that's kind of like a cop out because Ellen Joe isn't out and she's a limited character, but you got to keep in mind of the teams that these characters could go on. That just his core abilities alone, that's it. He's easily the best. I mean, we could go over everything else, but like I said, the dodge and the assists, it's essentially all of that. It's not really anything special. Whereas the special and the EX special, yeah, he does a little bit more damage. That's fine and all. The chain thing does a little bit more damage. Okay, whatever. But the key aspect is that he does more damage until you get to that stun, whereas his core abilities just kick in. And this is only at level 1. You know, obviously if we go to 7, it's just, you know, he deals more damage. That's fine. Again, want more damage to get to that stun effect. So this is the order I would say if you haven't made your choice yet. I would honestly think it is going to be Lycone, then Coleta, and Soldier 11. Then I think it's a pretty significant drop off until you get to Rena, and after that I think it's even a massive drop off to Grace and Necomata. Obviously, you know, if there's a character specifically you want to get, then get that character, but this is my recommended, you know, tier list on the S rank agents.